So we always start with taking a screenshot, or if we know there's a death pick, we take the death pick later. But we know there's no death pick, so we're going to take the screenshot to start. And let's talk a little bit about the Bourgogne. She's a tier 10 steel battleship. Very fun ship. Very fun ship. She's got 32mm of armor all around, which means she's relatively weak to IFHE, long-range spam, that sort of deal. But she's fast because she's got engine boost or whatever that you can run. She's also got main battery reload booster that allows you to choose to play Bourgogne in 2 different formats. One is you play her as a fire spammer. You set your target on fire, and then you wait until that fire is extinguished, and then you use your main battery reload booster and set him on 1, 2, 3, or 4 fires that are sticky. That's one way you can play the Bourgogne. The other way you can play the Bourgogne is like a flanking cruiser. You get off to the side, you wait until you've got a broadside on a cruiser using your really nice concealment, and then you unleash hell with your AP coupled with main battery reload booster. So there are some definite choices that can be played. You can spec the ship for a standard tank build. You could spec it for up close and personal with secondaries because she's the Alsace, basically hull at tier 10 with some added gimmicks. If you don't have Bourgogne yet and you are trying to think about what ships for steel to pick up, this would be on the top of my list. This is one of the best ships you can get for steel. Did I miss anything, gents?
She's basically an Alsace with a lot more gimmicks. That's the short version.
Okay. Well, now let's go ahead and take a look at your build. There we go. There's the Bourgogne. And now, Big O likes to use Damage Control Party Mod 1 in the first slot. We'll talk about that in a second. You've got Damage Control Mod 1 in the second slot, Aiming Systems, followed by Damage Control 2, Concealment, and then finally Main Battery. This is everything you'd want in a battleship, really. Now, Damage Control Party Mod 1 is instead of Main Armaments Mod 1. Most people will do Main Armaments. For American battleships, because they have extended invincibility while DCP is on, this module is very sexy. You can read the text. 40% uptime for damage control party consumable. What that means is that's 40% extra time that you cannot be set on fire or get flooded or lose a turret or your engines or your rudder. So it's a very good choice, especially, like I said, for American battleships. What this does is it allows the DCP to be active for 23.1 seconds instead of the standard 16.5. So that's 6.5 extra seconds of I can take sustained fire and not get set on fire again. Comes in handy, especially if you're using your repair party consumable in tandem on cooldown and stuff like that. Mike says, Bourgogne has been your counter to Schlieffen Spam in asymmetric. Okay, there you go.
I think the French turrets, like especially the 380 ones, like on the Bourgogne, Elsa, Chambard, are not very durable.
That is correct.
I'd be very hesitant to drop the main battery mod on that.
Well, and that's why I was saying that most people would run Main Armaments Mod 1. But this is Big O, and he wants his invincibility. So we'll see if that has an impact in this game. I would agree with you, though, Grunty. The French turrets do get taken out quite easily. So having this and giving them extra survivability is kind of standard, right, for most people. Big O, Special Captain?
Yes, it's the...
Honoré.
Honoré? No, it's the...
Abanu?
The gold one.
It's Honoré. Really? You've got Abanu on this? Okay.
Oh, no. No, it is Honoré, sorry.
I was going to say, so Honoré has buffed skills. Abanu has the talent. So Abanu's talent is if you get into a cap, you increase 1% for your fire chance. If you get a Dev Strike, you're faster, if I remember right. And then if you take enough potential damage, you reload quicker. Isn't that what it is? Something like that.
Yeah, no, if you have potential damage, you get speed.
That's what it is. Okay. It's one of the other... Yeah, and then Dev Strike gives you increased reload. It's the reason I don't know that so well is because I've rarely ever gotten that to proc in Abanu, so... World record for fastest kill? Well, if you take team killing out, I'm not sure. If you leave team killing in, it's in 3 seconds.
I can confirm this.
Side note, do you remember the old brawls where they would take the carrier and put it within the enemy fleet at the start?
I kind of missed that.
That was fun. Abanu is more of a more of a destroyer captain, absolutely. But because of the fact that you've got the ability to throw Abanu and any other captain you want on a premium ship and not pay retraining costs, you could theoretically put Abanu on the Bourgogne. And if you can get death strikes with it, then hey, great. Everything else probably doesn't matter so much. I suppose the potential damage could be helpful. But anyway, let's talk about your build. You've got gun feeder and then grease the gears. And secondary range. Now, secondary range and close quarters combat work well together. You bump up the range of your secondaries, and then when anything's in your range of those secondaries, your main battery reload is 10% quicker. So what Big O is doing is he's basically setting this ship up to be a brawler, but not so much a secondary brawler, more as a brawler with a buff to your main battery. On top of that,
secondary mod?
No. On top of that, he's got Adrenaline Rush for the extra boost to his reload from taking damage, and he has chosen not to take Concealment Expert, instead going Fire Prevention and getting the extra heal, and also the duration of DCP and heal. Why did you do this, Big O, Emergency Repair, instead of Concealment? Because I think most typically go Concealment and then Fire Prevention.
It works. It just works.
Okay. Experience can teach you one thing, right? And if it works for you, it works for you.
I don't like this build. Like, you're setting it up as a brawler.
Is there anything that I do that you do like?
Hey, Sergeant
I don't
Sully.
Or is there
like
anything
secondaries.
that anyone does that you do like?
The
Honestly.
problem is, you set it up as a brawler, but you make it so that you don't even get the main battery boost to the full range out because you don't take the secondary mod in the third slot. And
You don't
make
want to
it
take the secondary mod in the
hard-
third.
No, you really don't.
I mean, yes, I know you don't, but you know, what's the secondary range? Like 11 kilometers?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And what do you okay, so what do you get
No,
from
I think
doing
it's
this?
like 10
2.5
kilometers.
more. No, 1.5 more kilometer. Yeah, 1.5 more kilometer. 1.6 if you want to get closer rounding, but that's not gonna make a big difference.
I think you should spec this completely tank and nothing else on the Bourgogne.
Oh no, I was right. It is Felipe. Honoraries on John Bart, which is the same build.
Okay. Interesting, because I mean you're giving up a couple of nice buffs, especially the Adrenaline Rush buff. So
Like what you're basically doing with this build, you're investing 7 points to get a 10% better reload if you're within 11.
yeah. And this is Big
Too
O. He's
much.
gonna be within 11. If he could start the game within 11, he would. I know
dare
Big O's
say if
nodding
Big O
over there.
could- I know if Big O could go, if I could just be that carrier that spawned right next to the enemy.
Anyway, signal flags, you've got ramming, anti-det, and secondaries, so you bump your secondaries out a bit. You're not running ship speed, consumable reload over here, or heal, or fire reduction, or flood reduction. I'm guessing you're trying to conserve flags.
I'm out. I'm like very low and out and on some flags, so
Okay. Cthulhu says this is your co-op brawler build, except you take basics of survivability. Are you giving up Adrenaline Rush for that then? If so, that's kind of painful. I mean, it's co-op, so I guess you're all about Death Blossoming anyway. But I feel like Adrenaline Rush is still very handy. Anyway, you should take Fire Prevention before Concealment Expert. You hate fires, but you do find Concealment useful. That's true. Bourgogne has really good Concealment. Let me just show you guys what the Concealment is with Concealment Expert. 13 and change. Take that off. 14 and 0.6. So it does come in handy, but if you're good at using islands to get your way up, you can make it work. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the game itself. Now, chat, unfortunately, I forgot to run an ad break at the start of this replay. So I'm going to go ahead and run it now so that you guys don't miss much of the important stuff later, because you're just missing the beginning of the battle, okay? Those of you that are on YouTube, I'm going to try to run an ad too. We'll see if that works. I don't know if it will or not. Okay. So, top tier.
More importantly, with the secondaries, is once the secondaries get popping off, I'll know that like on a sub or something, I'll know that it's in my ASW range or heading to my ASW range.
Okay, because your ASW range is 11? 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you detect a sub and your secondaries fire off on it, you know you can hit it with depth charges. That's a neat idea, actually.
Yes.
It goes back to what I was talking about before, where before there were audio callouts, enemy destroyer spotted, or whatever. The only way that you would know if something was in your range and spotted was if you happened to look at the mini-map at the time, or if your secondary started shooting. And then you knew, and that was a nice kind of early warning. Mary Blatmus. Nice, Big O. YouTube ad blocker still works, so you don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
It was that kind of night. I had one match where I had like 4 death strikes back to back on Bourgogne.
I'm surprised you didn't take that shot on the Puerto Rico there.
I don't want to give up my concealment just yet.
And
Wanted
that's
to see what the
Go ahead.
Wanted to see what the BBs on the flank were gonna do.
And that's a very important distinction when you when we're talking about early on, right? Just because you have a shot on something doesn't mean that you take it, because if you do take it and you give up your concealment, they know you're heading that direction. Might give them information about where, you know, it's going to be heavier or lighter on the enemy team. Now, you dropped depth charges there, figuring that Gato was coming around that corner.
Yep. And I told the Charles to hydro so he could see their torps. Not wait till the last minute.
Okay. And now you got an oil slick, so you can kind of get an idea and predict which way the Gato's moving. I don't like that you doubled your ASW. I talk about this a lot too. If you spread it out more, you might have been able to get him on a cooldown for DCP.
Oh, this Gato player is a rookie.
I can tell. He's continuing to head straight directly towards pretty much everybody in your team. Airwolf.
He's a W enthusiast.
Mm-hmm. So I would say your ASW is a little bit behind then. Based off of his oil slick, I would think I would aim over here more. Like follow the line and go farther forward. Oh, you got a Rhode Island in front of you. Yeah, so you missed him there. Okay.
En attente d'instruction.
7 minutes until Stream Raiders. You are now radared. So now they know where you are. Now you got an important decision to make, and you gotta make it quick. Are you going to stop or are you gonna go? Looks like you're gonna go. And you want to cheek this Yamato. I don't blame you. Reload boost, yeah, it is up on you. Not much, but that's okay. You're gonna swing around. I would turn a little bit more left. Up. I was trying to say look to the left more so you get your rear turret turned quicker if you want to keep your turret on the left side, but now you're flipping around because you found the daring.
Demande d'appui feu à tous les bâtiments. Concentrez le tir sur la cible.
Now you're kind of in a sticky situation, right? Daring could torpedo you. You absolutely can't afford to give a broadside to the Yamato, so you're gonna turn towards the Yamato, hoping that the Daring's torpedoes are on cooldown.
Boost des moteurs désactivé.
I think they were, to be honest, if we're being honest.
Okay, yeah, you got
Oh, no,
plane torps
yeah.
coming in.
Cargo planes.
Yep.
And
Triple Citadel. Triple Citadel.
D'instruction, à vous.
I would have turned in when you knew you dodged the torpedoes.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't go broadside in the Yamato.
Problème résolu, chef.
I mean, you're fully broadside to him. You're lucky
I
that
know,
you're alive
right?
yourself.
Double Citadel.
À tous les bâtiments. Cible stratégique repérée à cette
Granted, I do
position.
not think it is luck. It is more so the fact that French battleships have French Turtleback. Yamato does not. Yamato
Okay, define
has
French-
a big citadel. and
Define
an
French
easy
Turtleback,
citadel.
please.
It's not German, but it works. Also,
It does not work against the Yamato at that distance. Not at all.
Clearly it did, because I didn't die. And he did.
For those of you guys who don't understand what French Citadel means, what he's saying is a French Turtleback. There's your Citadel is that box, right? That if a shell arms in it does maximum damage. Some ships have what's called a turtleback. So instead of a flat box, there's actually an angle like this. And the idea is that shells that come in from the side will hit that at a steep angle and bounce upward and out of your ship. And those shells that hit will either overpen, in other words, they'll penetrate and then penetrate a second time and blow up,
Des moteurs activés.
or they will explode in the hull of the ship for a full penetration, but they will not enter the citadel for maximum damage. So that's the difference there when we talk about turtleback. You're gonna check the Urban Dictionary for French turtleback, Drifton? I do agree, though. I feel like I feel like you sat broadside to the Yamato for a lot longer than you needed to. But you didn't die. The Daring says Daring needs longer smoke. I don't think the smoke is the Daring's problem. Just gonna put that out there. French Turtleback black hole armor. Especially talking about French cruisers. Speaking of cruisers,
There is spaced armor on the French battleships. Like, but it doesn't work at that close distances, and not against the Yamatos for 60s. Like,
now you're making me want to log into the game and look at the armor viewer to figure this out after this battle.
I can post you a screenshot if you want.
Not good enough. Bourgogne. Get the replay render ready. Do all the French ships get the saturation the destroyers get? No, Major Ken. It's only the French destroyers that get that saturation gimmick. That was put in as a balancing feature to make the French destroyers more unique, interesting, different, OP. Depends on who you talk to. Yeah, it would be very OP on battleships. That's correct, Drifton. Now, despite you being low on health, you're continuing to push. Why have you continued to push instead of, like, allowing the Preußen to take the lead? There you go.
Sorry, I was eating something. I mean, there's not really much in front of me to stop me, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, the carrier's been trying and failing, but
Miserably, I might add.
yeah, well, you know, he's learning. That's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Affirmatif.
Because Big O ripped the S key away from his keyboard. You're probably not wrong there either.
À tous les bâtiments. Cible stratégique repérée à cette position. Attention.
And there's the French gunnery for you.
Cette position. Boost des moteurs désactivé. Attention.
That looked like a lock-on bug, to be honest.
Well, he fired the first shot was before the lock-on happened. His engines are out. You didn't notice that, I don't think. I think you're gonna be way off on those shells.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah. But the first one definitely, the first shot he fired definitely did not have lock-on. And then I think the second, third, and fourth did, or second and third. I mean, sorry. Vermont and Preußen rammed. That's funny.
Alerte incendie.
All right, Big O, time to DCP and use that special module. Obviously, you're not. You're waiting for the planes to come back in case you get flooded.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't happen.
I would be healing, by the way. There you go.
No, I was trying to see if we could kill the Hindenburg before I DCP. Because he's the fire starter.
Right. And if you keep shooting like the way you're shooting, you won't. Victor, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. If you ever have any questions, and this goes for anybody on YouTube or on Twitch, if you guys have questions, ask. You're not,
Boost des moteurs activé.
we don't make fun of people for asking questions. Just for
He
dying all
finally
the
got
time.
a strike off.
He did. Is Rob still here? Nope. Oh, well, we love you, Rob. And you finally got your kill on him. Congratulations. Oh, if that was a fire, you would die, but there's the module. There's the magic of that module right there.
Problème résolu, chef.
18 ships, 2 teams,
Islands of
1
Godzilla.
victor. It's
What happened to
time
my
play
request queue?
Islands of
Now watch how fast
Chaos!
they reload on Kaga. They are reloading insanely fast with max adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and they'd be even faster if you had the buffed adrenaline rush. How are you, my friend? You sexy boy, you.
Hi, Chaos, you sexy man.
You sexy thing.
Chaos Machine graded my stream with
Oh,
565
Chaos. No
viewers.
wonder. I was gonna say, call me, but I don't know where my phone went. So here, my dear. I'll use this
How
tape
many
measure.
planes
Hello,
did I get
Chaos.
that
How are
match? Almost 50.
Welcome on in, everybody. I'm Lord Zeth, the North American community contributor. We are currently looking at some replay analysis. You guys are welcome to hang out and chill. We are looking at, this is Big O's game in the Bourgogne. Yes, Big O, you killed 47 planes that game. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, new cam, also new background. All kinds of good things. I'll show it to you if you've got a minute. Stick around for just a moment, sir. I need to finish going over the replay render here, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk just for you. I'll take you on a little tour of my room. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the replay render. Remember in RTS when French battleships had the best anti-air in the game? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Sadly, that's not the case anymore.
Still works though, as I clearly prove.
It does. All right, I'm going to use this opportunity to log into the game so we can take a look at the armor viewer. A little added bonus for chat. Chaos, how was your stream, sir? I'm sure it was awesome. If you guys don't know Chaos, something is wrong with you. And did you ever reach out to that female Greek streamer I found for you? Weird. The replay thing is off again, or the shout out thing is off. Crazy, huh? Of course, of course. Stream's been fine today. For the first time, we're streaming over on YouTube as well. Hey, Mighty Wombat. No clue who Chaos is? Lol. Oh my god! SF gifting 5 subs. SFNL's in the house, everybody. There's our clip of the crazy boy.
SFNL1 gifted war_machine_active a subscription. SFNL1 gifted a tier 1 sub to war_machine_active.
There we go. Now, when we do these, we have our Stevie slideshow. So we saw just now.
Spazzy Kick a subscription. SFNL1 gifted a tier 1 sub to Spazzy Chick.
We just saw Big O go around with the Bourgogne and just slap that Yamato. I'm amazed you survived, but you did.
SFNL1 gifted Chrysop a subscription. SFNL1 gifted a tier 1 sub to Chrysop.
There's Stevie and his first girlfriend Zelda on the first day they met.
SFNL1 gifted Pockington a subscription. SFNL1 gifted
Ah,
a tier 1
Pockington's got a
to
sub now.
Pockington.
Nice. Gamer Cat. And then there's the end of your game.
SFNL1 gifted angry_grandma.
Not bad, dude.
SFNL1
Hey, Bert, it's a Zath live stream. It's a live Zath stream. Yes. Oh, SF, I've got so many replays right now, but you can... It's up to you, dude. You can try to fit it in. I've got 8 replays to do until by 6, so another 2 hours 45 minutes. And this is the first replay.
They have given 83 gift subs in the channel.
We're gonna drop the replay render, and let's take a look at what this whole French Turtleback comment means. So let's take the side pieces off, and there it is right there. Do you see the turtleback? So you've got a shot that comes in from the side, and it hits this sloped armor and goes up and explodes most likely here for a full pen, or maybe it bounces off and out of the ship and explodes outside for an overpen. But it will not penetrate the citadel, which is right here. It needs to penetrate this armor. A shell needs to penetrate this armor, this little side piece armor right here, and then this piece of armor here in order to get here. Right, the T for turtleback, exactly. But earlier we were talking about the turtleback and the French turtleback. Now you compare that to a German battleship. That's the other one that most commonly is compared to, and you can see the German turtleback is different. The slope is shallower, and so it's better suited for up close fighting compared to the French one. Awesome. Okay, you call the French armor for void armor. Yes, void armor works as well, Mighty Wombat.
Yeah, the void armor works at long ranges because it likely goes into that triangle shape of the turtleback and goes through and then explodes in the empty space before the citadel.
That's another possibility too.
The shells are so fast and have so much penetration that you just go straight through and right into the citadel. And the angle on the French one is too steep to actually deflect the shell upwards.
Well, we'd have to do some testing. We're not going to do that right now, but I understand what you're saying with that steep armor. So, you know, I'm thinking back to that moment when Big O was looking at the Yamato like this, and I almost wonder if the Yamato's shells didn't penetrate the citadel because of the fact he stayed flat broadside. If he had turned in other words, turned towards the Yamato, then this entire ship would rock like this, maybe making it easier for the Yamato shells to penetrate. I don't know. Anyway, it worked, and if you want to know, this goes for anybody who's watching the stream right now. If you really want to know how this works, you can go ahead and create a battle. There is a type of mode here called ST Armor Resilience Test. You can put this in, you can put your ship in, you can fill it with bots that all just sit there. You can specify the kind of ship that you're up against, and you can practice different ranges. And am I getting citadels? Am I getting pens? All that kind of stuff. So
If you don't have a Bourgogne, you can use an Alsace, same armor scheme.
right, it's the same armor scheme, exactly right. So there's some good choices there. But in any case, we're going to move into the next replay in just a moment. Big thanks to SF for the gifted subs, and then Big O also gifting a sub. That started us on a hype train, which is going to end in a moment, which is cool. It's the first hype train of the year, so we're starting small at level 2, which is perfectly fine. But anyways, I need to take a moment, guys. We need to get the next replay figured out.